Welcome to the Red Flex. Manchester United are top of the table. It's just a video mainly because we wanted to trash talk Liverpool, we wanted to taunt Liverpool, and we wanted to bask in the glory of Manchester United being top of the table after 7 long years. We've got Harris, we've got Sumke, who are going to join me in trash talking Liverpool for approximately 15 to 20 minutes. We've also got some news, so this video is relevant. But before we carry on, make sure you continue to like, share, and subscribe to the Red Flex global community that have innovated something that's never been done before, the global fan cam. If you've followed us on Instagram at the Red Flex official, you'll see more information about that, where we're doing a drive to get as many people from around the world to come on the Red Flex. We're also streaming on Twitch. We're also just newly streamed on Periscope as well. So the Red Flex is everywhere. The Red Flex is global. The Red Flex will be available on all platforms as quick as possible. So as I said, we've got Harris, we've got Soom. But before we start with today's video, I just want to go to Soom because he's got something to say.
Top of the league, baby!
Oh yeah, top of the league. Okay, so we've got a couple of topics that we want to discuss. The United men and women's team doing very well at the moment. We'll also be talking about Paul Pogba, Luke Shaw, Jesse Lingard, and Fosu Mensah. I'm going to come to you first, Harris. So 1 year ago, Man United fell 30 points behind Liverpool following defeat at Anfield. It's gone full circle. We're top of the table. Ole somehow has managed all the critics. How has he done it? And I'm sure you've got some interesting stats to share with us as well.
Obviously, there's been a lot of factors, a lot of small things, I think, which have added up. Obviously, the introduction of a certain Bruno Fernandes is obviously a key element to all this. As soon as he's come in, obviously, his stats speak for themselves. The run that we've been on, unheard of. The only other teams in Premier League history to go a full calendar year without losing away from home are obviously Arsenal's Invincibles and Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. So we're in very, very good company in terms of those stats. Obviously, recruitment's been decent. Obviously Bruno came in. We've had Cavani come in. At the time, I know some people were questioning it, but he's been decent. We've got a decent bench now. When you look at the bench, you think, right, yeah, we've got game changers. Whereas before that, we were kind of like relying on that starting 11. Obviously, we've built the confidence over lockdown on that amazing 14-game run, I think it was, unbeaten. That's brought a lot of confidence, so that's helped. Obviously, it was a poor start to the season, but that was due to a lot of different things, COVID and lack of preparation. But again, our away form has been solid, absolutely solid, and that's given us the confidence. Obviously, we've had drawbacks along the way. Obviously, the League Cup, Champions League, all that kind of stuff. But in the league, to be honest, I think we've been pretty good. I know our home form needs to be better. It has been better, and I can see that only improving. And I think that mentality is a big thing as well. That's back. We're not going into games now thinking, are we going to win? Or is it going to be a draw? Now we go into the game thinking, we expect to win, and it's a disappointing result if we draw, i.e. Leicester. A game, we expected to win, even though they were second in the league, and we thought, we're going to go there, we're going to win. And it's a game we should have won. It's a completely different mindset now. And now, even if we go a goal behind, so what? So what if we go a goal behind? 2 goals behind, so what? They proved it time and time again.
We've got a massive game against Liverpool. I think there was an interesting stat that you wanted to share with us in terms of what could happen on the league table.
Yeah, so I've been doing some analysis on this league table in all the spare time that I've got.
The one that I slept with, by the way, and I have been sleeping with ever since the game.
And the very same one that I kind of sent out on my WhatsApp to all those City fans and Liverpool fans. So by the time we have kickoff at 4:30 p.m. on Sunday, UK time, Liverpool could be 5th in the league. Leicester, Everton, Tottenham all play before them. If they all win, I think Tottenham need to win by 2 goals. Liverpool will be 5th in the league. So they will have table pressure, not only the pressure of facing us and being behind us, but also the fact that, in the league, they could be way down. And by Sunday night, because Man City play Crystal Palace at 7:30, following our game, if City beat Crystal Palace, which I think they probably will, and if we beat Liverpool, Liverpool will be in 6th position, out of the Champions League positions, out of the Europa League positions. Mentally, I think it will be an absolute body blow, which I think they will not be able to recover from. If Liverpool are outside the top 4 and we give them a good hiding, it's game over for me.
No, I think it will be a fall from grace, you could call it. Soom, I'm going to come to you next. Obviously, Harris has just said about the momentum that's been building, our away record that's been great, pressure on Liverpool. It's not the kind of pressure they're used to in terms of going into games against United. In the beginning of the video, like I said, last season, after they beat us at Anfield, we were 30 points behind. Obviously, Ollie's turned this around. He's made a lot of decisions that have I think the majority of them have worked in terms of transfers, in terms of certain personnel. A certain game comes to mind when they lost to Everton. I believe it was 4-0 or 4-1. He said that he's going to be successful here in spite of the players. And it's somehow turned around that there's a good chance that he might do. I think there was a video that you sent me actually, Soom, yesterday, where there was a heated debate between Roy Keane, Jamie Carragher, Graham Souness, talking about Carragher was mentioning that United should have the best class, the best coaches of class in place. One of the main decisions that he's had to make is Paul Pogba. Obviously, a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with his agent. His attitude comes into play of whether or not he has a bad attitude on the dressing room. So I just wanted to ask you: has Paul Pogba silenced those critics in terms of, is he still a bad attitude that you can get a good performance out of, or is he not a bad attitude and he's can still get performances out of him?
Well, obviously, I obviously love Paul Pogba. And obviously, over the recent times, it's kind of like upset me the way how stories are developed and even how he's acted or not acted in when he should have, obviously when stuff has been said by his agent. Like recently, I felt like Pogba should be out of the team. He should be time to let go. It's not. We've had him for so many years now. We haven't really seen much of him. But like, I'm at a crossroad now because obviously the last couple of games he's starting to show his class, starting to show an improvement. But it's like they say, like, he only turns up when the teams are looking to win. I feel like Pogba needs to turn up regardless because he's part of the team, and even if the players around him are not performing, he also needs to try and perform. As long as he shows the heart for the badge, I don't mind. Obviously, you want to win, but I've said this before. I don't mind if we win, lose, or draw. Obviously, we want to win. But as long as you give your 100% effort on the game in the 90 minutes, you can't criticize a person and say, it's just not our day. That's what I just want to say. It's just not our day that day. But if you players like Pogba not turning up, then obviously they're going to get criticized for it as well and say, do they want to play for the team? Are they here for the money? Are they just looking to move on and that? But I think at the moment, a bit of a crossroads. I think I'll give it to a few more games where he plays to see how I feel about Paul Pogba.
Harris, do you think it was a good decision by Solskjaer to keep Pogba in the team? Obviously, his performances have gone better. I think it's still, as a fan, you don't know, if you think a player's not there, by heart, it's difficult to accept. But if he delivers the Premier League and he delivers goals and assists, should we care?
Difficult one, isn't it, with Pogba? I know Solskjaer's got a soft spot for him because I think he coached him at youth level. And I think he's always had that kind of like good relationship with him. And, he's never criticised him in the press. And then again, Pogba's never come out himself. Although, you can say, his agent doing what he's done is pretty much him talking anyway. But yeah, I mean, there was that period obviously when Solskjaer came in, he did really well. The team was doing well. But yeah, he did play well. Obviously, in the past few years, there's been moments, a couple of patches of 2 or 3 games here and there where he's done really well under Mourinho, etc. But yeah, it seems like we're getting the best out of him. I mean, the argument that he only plays when the team's doing well, that is, or was an argument, but I think he might have put that to bed in the last 3 games. Because if you think about his goal against West Ham, the one here, they've all been crucial goals where the team hasn't been playing well, to be honest. So, he's stepping up. And yeah, if he goes end of the season, I've got no issues with that. As long as he plays the way he is, and if we can win something great, or if we can run Liverpool really, really close, then fair enough. He's it works for him, it works for us. We get the best out of him. We end up getting close in the league, or we end up winning something, and he'll obviously be in a position, if he does play really well to the end of the season, by being kind of putting himself in the shop window where somebody hopefully will come in with 60-70 million and take him.
Obviously a lot of momentum Man United at the moment. Recently myself, I've been watching a lot of videos previously where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has taken a lot of stick. ESPN FC come to mind, a lot of Sky Sports garbage comes to mind.
Yeah.
But it's not only the Manchester United men that are doing well. Manchester United women's team are also top of the table. I believe the under 18s are also top of the table. So it feels like this, years of mismanagement, years of Glazers not doing their job properly, years of Woodward not doing his job properly, years of poor transfer strategy. Are we finally turning the corner with this, and have we learned our lessons, or is it too early to say? I'll put it out. Zoom, you can go first.
Okay. I think it's a bit too early to say, but there's nothing wrong with starting to believe. I feel like, obviously, I've even said this to you, Cass, before. When Solskjaer's appointments come, he needs to break the team in order to mend the team. And I think he started doing that, getting rid of a bit of dead weight. There's a bit more dead weight that still needs to go and that. But the signings have come in, the improvements have come in. And I think, obviously, it's feeding through the rest of the club. So, obviously, the under-18s are performing. The women are performing, which is great to see. It's great to hear, man, because at the end of the day, obviously, in these current times, yeah, any type of positivity is a blessing to us, man. Regardless if we're stuck at home, we've got nothing to do, man. It's these like little joys of football and these wins that entertain us as well, man, and bring us makes it a little bit easier to cope with, if you know what I mean.
No, absolutely. I think this is what the Red Flex is all about. This is the global community is all about. People all over the world that we've never met, never spoke to before. We put them in the room. We've got one thing common, that love for Man United.
Mm-hmm.
And, the game against Burnley was the perfect example of how much it can impact your life, not just as a footballing fan, but just as a person dealing with life. It's those little moments that count. And just very quickly, your thoughts. Obviously, a lot of years of mismanagement, poor, recruitment. Do you think we're going on the right tracks to put that right?
Yeah, I mean, you can't say otherwise. I mean, look at where we are in the league. I know you get these haters. You got Simon Jordan, the ex-Crystal Palace chairman. He's ranting and raving on Talk Sport.
He's guaranteed that we won't be winning the trophy this year. He's going to be a very worried man.
And you've got Craig Burley on obviously ESPN. He's the same, isn't he? He's all these anti-Man United pundits and ex-players and all that kind of garbage. But one thing, what really annoys me about this whole situation is that they're kind of discrediting it by saying, it's a COVID season. It's only because Liverpool and City haven't shown up. Blah, that is absolute tosh, absolute garbage. It's a level playing field.
Last season as well. You might as well say last season wasn't relevant.
It's a level playing field. Everyone's in the same situation. It's not as if we've got an advantage of any sort. Secondly, I don't know what they're expecting now, because the argument is, in a normal season, Liverpool City would have had X amount of points. I mean, that can't continue forever. You can't expect a team to have more than 2.5 points a game, or played 17, won 15, drawn 2. That's not going to happen every year. It can't happen every year. There's cycles in teams. etc., etc. You know, they want to discredit us, and that really annoys me. But you know, it doesn't matter. We're going to carry on. We're going to do our thing. Hopefully, you know, we'll get a positive result at Anfield, and we can just continue to ride it out.
Can I quickly say something?
Yeah, go on, Sue.
You know, another thing that keeps annoying me, man, is this Pickford situation with Van Dijk, man. Obviously, Mr. Oliver, the referee, has come out and said he should have redded him and all that crap. Listen, I don't get why people are moaning about it. Yes, it's unfortunate what happened to Van Dijk. Obviously, as a football fan, you don't want no player to get injured in such a way or however, yeah. You want it to be a nice, good, fair game, man. But clubs are supposed to be able to expect situations, freak situations like that. They should have the depth to rotate their players, to bring in other players from the squad to compete with that. But yeah, you're hearing all these Liverpool fans, this player's not available, this player's not available. Look, listen, last season you hardly had any injuries, and that's probably what gave you a better advantage over everyone else in winning games.
Exactly.
Yet now you're having injuries, you think it's not fair. You know what I mean?
And then about the United penalties and complaining and just crying.
It's part of the parcel of the season. You either take it or just shut up. You know what I mean?
This is the way I see it. Man United have been out of the top of the, you know, the race of the Premier League. You know, we've given clubs an opportunity to be the face of the Premier League. We've given opportunities to everybody. So you know what? Be the face, be the man, be the main event. But they can't do their job properly, man. That's why Man United have had to come back. That's why we're getting the penalties. Yeah, it's a fix. We're getting penalties from the Premier League. You know why? Because Man United bring the revenue. Man United bring seats to boom. Premier League get more television deals because we are the biggest club in the world. We've not won a title for 7 years yet. Everyone and anyone wants the slice of the Manchester United pie. Why? Because we're the best in the country. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Okay, so next section that I want to very quickly cover, bit of transfer news. Fosu Mensah has left Manchester United, I believe, for around £1.5 million, gone to Bayer Leverkusen. I've seen a video with Pogba and Bayer saying, you know, who's going to join us with, you know, taking the mickey out of each other. Very quickly on him from both of you. Obviously, when he first started, when he first got integrated in the team, I believe it was under Louis van Gaal, there was a lot of high hopes. In my opinion, I think maybe a lack of luck with injuries, and maybe he's just not, you know, that level of Manchester United quality. Would you agree that it was the right move? Harris first.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, you know, he's had injuries, lack of opportunities, etc., and you know, he's been pushed at right back, centre back. He probably is more suited to centre back. I don't think he's got those kind of attributes to be going down the wing and putting the crosses in. But you know, we've had too many centre backs over the years. You know, there's still, we've got, you know, we can start a different show on this. But Rojo and Jones, who absolute garbage, who just, you know, we can't get off the books because of their wages. You know, they're the ones that need to go next. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of options in that position. Unfortunately, it's not worked out for him, and you know, best of luck to him. Best of luck.
No, absolutely. Sooms, very quickly, Fosu Mensah, right decision to go?
Sadly, yes. Obviously, I'm gutted. I wanted to see him develop more, obviously see his true potential. I think he was hindered with injuries, and he had some games where he was a phenomenal, but there was too many games when he was given the opportunity, he didn't really do much. So obviously, I think at this time where we are in stage, where the club is, I think it's time we have to be a bit more ruthless with ourselves as well, and obviously try and get the best of the best. Obviously, it's unfortunate he has to go. I wish him all the best. Hopefully, he does well at Bayer Leverkusen, and just see. Obviously, it's just part of football, isn't it? Sometimes you can't.
Yeah,
that's it.
Absolutely. Very quickly as well, Jesse Lingard is in talks with Nice, I believe, for a loan deal. All right, so I'll come to you first on this one. In my opinion, I think he is a good player, has been a good player, but I think it's the right time for him to move on for the best interest of the club and for the player. If he does want to get a faint opportunity at the Euros, which I personally don't think he is going to get, do you think he should leave the club on loan or permanently?
Yeah. I think even permanently, I mean, look, we've got Bruno come in, that's where he kind of has been playing, and we've got Greenwood obviously in the wings, who probably is let's be honest, he probably is a better player. But let's not forget what he's done. He was part of the team that won the Europa League and the FA Cup.
Scored a great goal in the final.
And the League Cup, yeah, and he's had some really great moments in United shirt, especially at Wembley. So he's done some good things, but obviously, there's been some personal stuff going on with him, and he's been criticised for his out of football activities as well at certain points. And I think his career's at a point where now it's a case of he just needs football. So if it's on loan, it's on loan. But for me, I think he should just move on. I know he's one of our own. He's one of our own kind of products of the club. So it's always sad to see someone like that go, but I think it is the right time.
Soon, very quickly, just before we wrap up, would you agree with Harris? Have you got anything else to add to that?
Yeah, obviously, I'm a big Jesse Lingard fan. I have to be honest, man. I always wanted to see him do well, man. He has done some great moments at United, especially in the final. He seems to turn up in the final, man. Personally, I would still keep him, honestly, but I understand why he has to go. So it's one of those. I feel like there's just too many players around him that are better than him, so he's not able to develop himself or not. Maybe where he can be a bit more, go to a team where he could be like in the top tier of the team, and maybe you'll see his actual influence and actually how he plays, man. But his work ethic is amazing, to be fair. So it's sad to see him go, man.
That pretty much wraps up today's episode. The main reason, again, was to taunt and trash talk Liverpool for our excitement. I think we've pretty much got that from this video. Just before we go, another reminder for everybody, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe to the Red Flex. Like we said before, we are streaming on Twitch. Perch stream as well. I think I've got the pronunciation of that right.
Periscope.
Apologies if I
Periscope.
Periscope, sorry. So that pretty much it. We've got a lot of stuff coming up in the hype on the, we're full steam ahead to this game with Liverpool. We had a video that was available on YouTube yesterday. In-depth look at the rivalry between Liverpool and Manchester United. We do have part 2, which we'll be releasing in the next few days. We've also got the last 5, where we will be going reviewing the last 5 games that Man United have had against Liverpool. We've had a few more videos where we'll just trash talk about Liverpool just for our own enjoyment. But until then, thank you very much for tuning in, and we will all see you again very soon.